This is tough. So, by now, the BronxBlogger has become popular in the worst possible way. There was a video made specifically about a conversation that I had with Jeff Holiday, the skeptic YouTuber, and there was some language used that was regrettable. I directly apologized to the offended parties, specifically, not to Jeff himself, but to some black guy and that guy T for using a word that has harsh racial implications. That was out of order, and I sincerely apologize for that. I fucked up. I fell below my own ideals and principles, and I am still learning to separate myself from political tribalism and the idea of political racial fealty. That's something that I need to unlearn. It is difficult because of the sort of the racial dog whistling involved in conservatism, particularly in the United States. That there has been some stuff like, the welfare queens myth that Republican politicians, conservative politicians like Reagan and Bush and Trump have run on. I mean, they've run on some pretty harsh racial stuff. So it's very confusing to me when I see someone who is a member of a marginalized group support an ideological stance or candidate that would seem, at the very least, not predisposed to sympathize with their problems, and at most to sort of have a sense of contempt for them as a racial group. So some black guy and that guy T, I fucked up. Coons is not a word for me to use and invoke or apply to other people. And neither is Uncle Tom. It was said half sarcastically, but it's still a fuck up. And a fuck up that I take full responsibility for. Now, that being said, now that I've made official apologies and stuff to the people that I offended, now comes, I mentioned this was going to be a mea culpa and confession, and now I'm going to address Jeff Holiday in terms of the making a confession. Jeff, this is the biggest thing I've ever had up my ass. This is the biggest sex toy that I've ever... It's a massager. It's not a dildo, technically. You see, because it has like this. On the end, it has a cap. And, I mean, there's no batteries in it at the moment, but, I mean, I'm not going to use it here in this close to the American flag. I don't think it's... there's a Bible in here, too. So, I don't think it would really be appropriate to stick this up my ass in an environment like this. I know you have Mr. Wiggles, and you know, I have concerns about whether or not you should start with Mr. Wiggles. This is officially 6 inches, and it has a nice, you know, Mr. Wiggles is floppy, and he's kind of made to like go in a vagina. I wouldn't really suggest a big floppy dildo to go up your own ass first time up. I know that there are smaller versions of this that they use for people post-op. You know, when people go through sex changes. So if I were you, if I were, like, I don't know if Mr. Floppy already fits up your ass. You may have been using sex toys for many years, and you could have like a very elastic asshole. God bless you. But I would start with something like this, you know, for the ergonomics. And I mean, if you really want to tend your prostate, you kind of get like put your legs up froggy style like this. And I mean, am I in frame? Okay. So you kind of like, you don't want to put it straight. You want to kind of like come in on an angle, right? And as the girth curvy part opens your inner sphincter, you'll know you're deep enough because like right where this seam is, your outer sphincter it creates suction. Use lube, man. Don't fuck with this one. Don't fuck with this one dry. It's not a game. And again, you pull out on an angle, you come back, and again, you use the ergonomic curve to stimulate your prostate. You may need, I'm glad you're married because you may need help in terms of, you know, your legs are gonna be up. You're gonna be doing this with one hand. You may need someone to jack you off. I don't know if you can find somebody in the house to do that, or pay someone to come over, or I don't know if you have an OkCupid account that I could check. I could maybe make one for you. So you're gonna stimulate basically like this, and you know, if you put the battery, you don't need the batteries. Listen to me. This is a multi-purpose tool. You do not need batteries to make your prostate pop off of this. The brand name is Betterfinger. I wonder if this is going to go in backwards. It's called Betterfinger. I know that there could be like some copyright stuff. You could talk to Bering about that and find out whether or not you're cleared to use this in a video. I'm not suggesting this for a video on YouTube, but I think that Jeff Holiday, just based on the name, on the elegant sort of flamboyance of the name, could really catch on Pornhub. They do a cam thing, and you could do shows where you pop your asshole with this, and then you halfway through. Put the batteries in at the beginning, but when you're ready, you just twist this end here. It'll start to vibrate, and you don't even have to plunge it anymore. You just kind of hold it in place, and you're right beyond your inner sphincter is going to be like a little tag of flesh that you will feel. This, I mean, you literally, actually, you know what's funny? You may not need to ask anybody around the house for help because you can trigger an orgasm in your prostate with this tool, the Betterfinger. Jeff, write this down. You can trigger an orgasm just with this on vibrator mode. Don't waste time with Mr. Wiggles. He's sarcastic. He's got a face that's very disorienting. This is very anonymous. You don't have to make eye contact or give it a name or whatever. It has a name. The name is Betterfinger. So when you're done, you're probably going to have a lot of semen on your chest and belly. You can use that to moisturize the dreads in your beard. And I think you have dreads at the end of your hair. I think you have like just like kind of like a sort of like a like hay up here, and then further down you have dreads. So the orgasm from this will be so powerful that when you finish, if you tilt your head forward, the jizz will naturally get protein, the best protein available for a white man who has dreads, a white Rasta, will come from the massive orgasm that this better finger helps you to achieve. Sit down with the family, share this video, have a discussion about where everyone should be when this stuff goes down so that you can have privacy. There's going to be a lot of noise and splatter. So you probably, you don't want to do this in the bed where your marriage bed. You want to sort of, if you could set up a cot in the basement and put a garbage bag on top of that, that's going to be the best place to stick this up your ass and bust your own asshole open. So that's my confession, that this is the biggest thing that I have ever put up my ass, and I don't think that you should put anything bigger up yours. You now have my permission to be offended.